This is a vinyasa sequence, all at the wall. We'll use the wall as a way to leverage our supine poses, our standing poses, and even some of our balancing poses. We'll start lying down on our backs with the feet up on the wall. Bring your bum a little closer to the wall and have your feet so that they're lined up with your knees. Make it so your legs are about a 90-degree angle. Plug your feet into the wall and grab the back of your legs. Bend your elbows and pull yourself up as high as you can go. And then go a little higher than you think you can go. And then stay this high and place your hands on the front of your thighs and start to press your thighs and your hands against one another. So you might start to shake. Press the right hand a little harder. Press the left hand a little harder. Press the right hand a little harder. And press the left hand a little harder. One more on the right. Press the right hand. Press the left hand. And then grab the back of your legs and slowly roll yourself down. So find the four corners of your feet again. And this time feel like you're trying to drag your feet down the wall, but don't let the feet move. And let that initiate the lift of your butt. Lift your bum up into the air as high as it goes. And as your feet drag down, move your tailbone forward. Lift your thighs up. Grab the sides of your mat with your hands and tuck your shoulders underneath your chest, like Setu Bandhasana. As you pull the mat apart with your arms, with your hands, roll your inner arms to your outer arms and keep the action of the legs. And then release the mat and slowly roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. Think of one vertebra plugging into the floor segmentally so that your bum lands last. And grab the back of your legs again. Pull yourself up again. Go as high as you can. So bend your elbows, really pull on your legs. Try and get your chest as high as it can go. And then stay this high and take your hands to the sides of your shins and reach your right hand as far as you can towards the wall and try and touch that bony protrusion on the outside of your ankle, and then come back and do that on the other side. So slip your left hand way forward, as far forward as it can go. Keep your shoulders high. Let's do it 2 more on each side. Slide your right hand all the way down towards your right ankle. Come back up, slide your left hand all the way down towards your left ankle. One more time on the right side, slip it down. Can you go even further than before? And then left arm, slide it down. Left hand slips towards the ankle. And then come back to center, grab the back of your legs, and roll yourself down. Walk your feet up a little bit. And go on to the back of your heels. Drag your heels down now, and let that initiate the lift of your butt. Eventually, your feet will go back onto the wall. You could stay on the back of your heels if you wish. Doesn't matter. Grab the sides of your mat again. Tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. Do it a few times. Really get a good tuck. And then walk your feet up more so your legs actually straighten. Plug the 4 corners of your feet into the wall. Contract your quadriceps. And draw your tailbone strongly forward. And as you pull the mat apart with your hands, roll your inner arms to your outer arms. Walk your feet down first just a little bit. Release the grip of the mat and roll yourself down segmentally, 1 vertebra at a time. Bum lands last. Roll over onto your right side. Come into a tabletop. Tuck your toes on the floor and have your heels on the wall. And then land your hands right underneath your shoulders. Have your knees pretty much stacked right underneath your hips. And then plug your index knuckles into the floor quite strongly and wrap your outer shoulders back. So you'll see your elbows turn towards your legs, but it's really happening from your upper arms. And then bend your elbows about halfway down towards the floor. And notice that they have the tendency to go out laterally to the sides. Hug your elbows back in towards one another and keep that as you descend your elbows all the way down to the floor so your forearms land. And then interlace your 10 fingers with your right thumb on top of your left thumb. And then slowly start to lift your bum up into the air and come into a dolphin down dog. Bend your knees, and with your knees bent, stick your butt way up into the air. Push your elbows forward even though your arms don't move. And bring your chest back towards your knees. And then bring your knees back down onto the floor. Keep your elbows right where they are and separate your arms again so that your hands come back to where they were before. It's like you're about to do Pincha Mayurasana. Again, land your inner hands down, hug your elbows towards one another, and slowly start to bring your arms up. Keep hugging the elbows together. And then do down dog. Straighten your arms, lift your butt up. Notice what bending your knees does. Notice it gives you more space in your spine to back bend. As you press your hands forward, keep wrapping your outer shoulders back. Move your heart towards your legs. Pop your butt up. Maybe your legs straighten. It's a lot easier with your heels hiked up on the wall. And then walk your feet forward just a little bit so they can come off the wall. And fold down over your legs. Roll yourself up. Come up to a standing position and turn to face the wall. Place your hands on the wall. And keep your right hand on the wall. So it's kind of like you're in plank, I guess. Keep your right hand on the wall and let your left arm just fall down to your side. And turn your whole body, your feet and everything over towards the left. And maybe even a little bit further than that. Push your right hand into the wall. Just like you were doing in down dog, wrap your outer right shoulder down. And feel like you're trying to drag your right hand towards the left. Like along the wall towards the left side of the room, and you'll feel a big stretch, or you'll feel the sense different in your right shoulder. And then if you take your left hand and grab the outer right ribs and twist yourself to the left, you'll feel it even more. And try bringing your left ear towards your left shoulder. See how that feels. And then come back to face the wall. Take your left hand back onto the wall. Let your right arm go down to your side and turn your feet towards the right. Maybe even a little bit further. Press your left hand into the wall. Wrap your outer left shoulder down. Keep that the whole time. And then feel like you're trying to slip your left hand along the wall to the right, but it's too plugged into the wall. And then you can take your right hand and grab the outside of your left ribs and physically twist yourself to the right. You can bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Notice I have to remind myself to soften the shoulders down. And then face the wall again. And let your hands go down a bunch by about a foot. And walk your feet back a bunch. And do this down dog variation against the wall. Same mechanics. Inner hands press, outer shoulders wrap down. Let your chest go down. Notice how it feels to drag your hands up the wall. They don't move, but feel like pulling your hands up the wall. Notice how it feels to drag your hands down isometrically. And then walk your hands forward. We'll do one more thing like this. Interlace your fingers with your left thumb on top. And take your forearms down onto the wall. Slide them down a bunch and walk your feet back. So you're doing this first variation of Pincha Mayurasana against the wall, or a dolphin down dog. Drive your elbows and your fists forward. Wrap your outer shoulders down. Let your chest dip down towards the floor. Feel what it is to drag your fists up, drag your elbows up isometrically, and then feel what it is to drag the elbows down the wall isometrically. And then walk your feet forward and come on up. Turn around and do down dog just as you did before. Tuck your toes on the floor, have your heels up the wall. Come forward into a plank, just to make a good measure, really. And while you're at it, bring your right knee into your chest and round your spine. Dodge the wall, reach your right leg all the way up, and place the top of your right foot on the wall, and toenails. And stretch the top of your foot. And then turn your right foot all the way to the right. Turn your chest towards the right. And then look down, turn onto your right toes, and step your right foot forward to your right thumb tip. And then bring your back down. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers above your head. And then interlace your fingers behind your head. Widen your elbows. Push your foot into the wall. And drag your left knee forward. And then with the back bend, turn and twist to the right. And place your right hand on the wall and reach your left arm forward. Bend your right elbow a bit and turn the elbow in the same direction that you've turned towards and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And just like you were doing before, feel like you're trying to drag your right hand along the wall to the left as the right shoulder lifts up and back. And then hook your left arm outside your right thigh and prayer your hands. Press your right hand down into your left hand, pull your heart forward, and turn. Take your fingertips down onto the floor on either side of your front foot. Straighten your back leg and then straighten your front leg and fold. You can take your right elbow and hook it behind your calf. Grab your Achilles tendon with your right hand. Press the top of the calf forward with your elbow and drive the top of your right thigh back. And then with that, pull the spine forward, get really long in the front, the sides of you, lengthen through the two sides of your neck. You can flip and take your right hand on the front of your shin. Turn your left heel all the way to the left so your legs are in a triangle position. And then reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Keep plugging your feet into the ground. Contract your quadriceps so your knees tighten and lift up. And allow your outer left hip to turn down slightly. And then twist your right ribs up a bunch. Get very long through the sides of your neck. And maybe look up towards your top arm with your right eye. Bend your right knee. I like to hook the knee outside the arm, but place your arm wherever you want to. Turn your left palm towards the space out in front of you away from the wall and reach your left arm forward as far as it goes. And use the left foot. Bank it into the wall. Keep wrapping your outer right hip down very strongly. Externally rotate the right hip. And then turn, twist your ribs upwards as you reach the left arm forwards. And take your hands down onto the floor and frame your front foot. Pick up your back heel and plug it back down onto the wall. And step your right foot back. Come into a plank. Bend your knees a bunch and go back to a down dog. Come forward into a plank again and breathe in. And bring your left knee into your chest. And breathe out. Dodge the wall, lift your left leg up. And place the top of your foot onto the wall. You can even press the top of your foot into the wall. Get a bigger stretch. And then turn your left foot all the way to the left. Plug your feet into the wall. Turn your ribs over towards the left. And then flip onto your back toes again. Left toes hit the wall. And step forward to your left thumb tip. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling and interlace your 10 fingers with the left thumb on top. And then interlace your fingers behind your head. Plug your right foot into the wall. Keep dragging your right knee forward at the same time. Lift your rib basket up. Widen your elbows. And lean back. And then keep everything the same, but just twist towards your left. Plug your left hand into the wall and reach your right arm forward. And bend your left elbow and reach your right arm up and towards the wall behind you. And feel like you're trying to drag your left hand along the wall to the right now. Lean the right ribs forward towards the front of your mat. And pick up the whole right side of your body. And then hook your right arm outside your left leg and prayer your hands. Press the left hand down into the right hand. Press the elbow down into the thigh. Pull your heart forward, almost like you're getting a back bend, and turn around all that space. And then frame your front foot with your 10 fingertips and straighten your back leg. Straighten your front leg and fold. And then you can hook your left elbow back behind your calf if you want, and grab the very low part of your calf with your palm. So the top of the tibia in these poses goes forward. Use your elbow, press forward with the elbow, and then drive the top of your left thigh back a bunch. And then from that, from the strength and stability of your legs, get super long in your upper body. Belly to chest, neck really long. And then switch the grip. Just grab the front of your shin with your left hand. Turn your right toes all the way to the right. Straighten your left leg and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Drive your feet through the floor. Contract your quadriceps. Let your outer right hip turn down a little bit, and then twist your ribs up. Try and get 2 inches taller in the spine. Lift your head off your shoulders. Lift your spine off your hips. And then bend your left knee. Hook it outside your arm, or you can place it wherever you wish. You could have your hand on the floor if you want. Turn your right palm forward, externally rotate the arm, and then reach it forward. And plug your outer foot into the wall. Bank it against the wall. Wrap your outer left hip down, and then turn your ribs up. Reach your right arm as far forward as you can. Get really, really long through your neck. And then take your 2 hands down onto the floor and frame your front foot. Pick your right heel back up onto the wall and step your left foot back. Come into a plank. Bend your knees and come into a down dog. And then step your feet forward off the wall again. Walk your hands back to your feet and park your bum onto the wall for a second. And just hang loosey-goosey. Do a 180-degree turn. Turn your toes towards the wall. Bend your knees a bunch and bring the back onto the wall. You can walk your feet forward. You could walk your feet out a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. And try and walk the back as far down as you can. Like try and find your mid back plugged up against the wall. And then you can grab opposite elbows and plug your elbows into the wall or just let them hang. You could take your hands to the sides of your temples or your ears and let your arms just be a passive weight to traction your neck. Just make it a nice forward fold. And every now and again, you can walk further down the wall, I bet. And then place your hands somewhere there that they're stable and slowly roll yourself off the wall and then slowly roll yourself up to stand. I'm going to turn away from you because I think it will be easiest for you to see, but turn to your left and measure yourself about the length of your femur. So the length of one of your thighs in tree pose, that's what we'll do. And then place yourself in tree. So bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Bend your standing leg for a second. You can use the wall as a perch for your right fingers. Lower the right knee down. So you try and catch the top of the knee on the wall. And then start to straighten your left leg. Plug your left foot into the floor. Compact your left hip to the right. And wrap your outer right hip down. And then reach your arms up towards the ceiling and interlace your 10 fingers with your right thumb on top of your left thumb. And side bend over towards your right. Over towards your left. You can grab your right wrist with your left hand if you want. Lean your ribs towards the wall and pull away from it with your arms, your head, your spine. And then come on back up. Bring the right knee forward and place your feet onto the floor. Just turn the other way. Turn towards your right. Measure about a thigh length distance away from the wall. And once you have that measurement, place the sole of your left foot as high as you can up onto the groin. And then just a little bend in the right knee will do it. Tuck the top of your left knee on the wall and then re-straighten the right leg. Push your right foot very strongly into the floor. Compact your outer right hip to the left, like towards the wall. and wrap your outer left hip down very strongly. Think of your inner groin going towards the wall. And then reach your arms up towards the ceiling, interlace your 10 fingers, left thumb on top, and side bend over towards your right. So we find you get a bigger stretch with the wall. That's what happens in my body. And you also get more stability for the side stretch. So again, if you want to grab your left wrist and pull on the wrist a bunch, go for it. And then come on back up and bring your left knee forward and place your feet on the ground. Turn away from the wall and come into a down dog. And tuck your toes onto the floor and have your heels right up on the wall. And then come forward into a plank, just for the measure. Bend your knees and go back to down dog. Okay, let's do some vinyasa with breath. So let's all inhale together, so we're all on the same page. And exhale together. And then breathe in and come forward into a plank again. And bring your right knee into your chest and round your spine and breathe out. Find a down dog split and inhale. And turn your right toes to the right as you exhale. And then you can come onto your right fingertips if you wish. You can reach your right arm up towards the ceiling if you want to. It's kind of like Vashisthasana, but with the support of the wall. Push through your feet, push through your left hand, all the things that are supporting you. And then come on back down. And take your right hand down onto the floor. Spin onto your right toes. And step your right foot forward to your right thumb tip. And bring your back knee down and inhale, reach your arms up. Interlace your 10 fingers, right thumb on top. Interlace your hands behind your head as you exhale. Take a full breath in and back bend, open and widen your elbows. And keep back bending, but twist to the right on the exhale. And place your right hand on the wall. Left arm goes forward and then reach your left arm up on the breath in. Hook your left arm outside your thigh and breathe out. And prayer your hands. Straighten your back leg and inhale. And stay just like this as you exhale. Heel plugs into the wall. Hands plug together. Chest moves forward and you turn. And then bring your fingertips down onto the floor and walk your right foot back a little bit by about maybe a foot. Bring your left foot up the wall and come into a supported warrior 3. Make sure your left toes are turned directly down. Sharpen your legs, contract your quadriceps. And pull the heart forward slightly. And then keep the left heel on the wall, but turn your left toes all the way to the left and come into Ardha Chandrasana. Plug the feet. Contract the quadriceps. Wrap your outer right hip back very strongly. And as the outer right hip goes back, twist your ribs up. As your right fingertips or your hand plug into the ground, reach the left arm up higher. You could even turn the palm forward and reach the arm forward. Get very long and spacious in your neck. And then take your hands down onto the floor, turn your left toes down, walk your left foot down the wall, find your toes on the floor, and come into a plank. And bend your knees and press yourself back into a down dog. And take a full breath in and a full breath out. Forward into a plank, inhale. Left knee to chest, exhale, round your spine. Down dog split, dodge the wall. Find your toes for a second, and then just flip your left toes all the way to the left. Come onto your left fingertips if you wish, and reach the left arm up. Right hand plugs, right arm externally rotates. Feet press long through the spine. Left arm forward, left hand down. Flip onto your left toes and step your left foot forward. Bring your back knee down, reach your arms up. Take a full breath in, interlace your 10 fingers above your head, and then behind your head, interlace your fingers on the exhale. Take a big breath in, widen your elbows, go up and back, and then twist towards your left as you exhale and plug your left hand into the wall. Little bend to your left elbow. Reach your right arm up. Take an inhale. And then hook your right tricep outside your left thigh and prayer your hands. And exhale. Straighten your back leg. Feet plug. Outer left hip wraps back. Left hand plugs down. Feel the sense of that you're back bending. So pull the heart forward. And then turn around all of that. And then take your fingertips down onto the floor and step your left foot back by about a foot. Bring your right leg up the wall to about the level of your hip and find supported warrior 3. Feet plug, quads contract, chest goes forward. And then keep the heel on the wall, but just pivot the right toes to the right and reach your right arm up. Did you lose your footing? Find the plug. Find your knees lifting towards your hips. And then as your outer left hip wraps back, twist your ribs up. Get super duper long through your spine. And then if you want to flip your right palm forward, reach the arm forward towards the front of the room, maybe even look up. And then take your fingertips down to the floor, walk your right foot down, come into a plank, step your left foot back, bend your knees, and come into a down dog. And then bring your knees down onto the ground. Hug your elbows very strongly together and slowly lower your elbows all the way down to the floor. Interlace your 10 fingers. Push into your forearms and lift your bum up. And walk your feet up the wall. You can absolutely have a little bend in your knees. Push your forearms down and forward away from the wall. Move your heart towards the wall and pop your butt way up. And then when you're ready, you can walk down and find child's pose. If you walk your knees forward a little bit, you can come off the wall and just rest. So that was the first variation of Pincha Mayurasana. And now we'll do a L handstand. I like to consider these like the Katona community does, that they're back bends. So the last one, little back bend, little extension, or at least you're trying to manage that. And then same with this one. So be in a tabletop, but walk back just a little bit, like a shorter tabletop. And then again, lift your knees up, bring your shoulders over your wrists, and walk your feet up to the level of your hips. And then do all the stuff. Press your index knuckles down, wrap your outer shoulders back, bend your knees a bit, and bring your heart back towards the wall. And feel like you're back bending. And then walk your feet down and walk your knees forward away from the wall and come into a child's pose. You can even have your arms back alongside your body, so you actually do real deal balasana. And then come on up, and we'll turn towards the wall again and walk the knees all the way to the wall. Make contact with the front of your thighs. Press the tops of your feet very well into the ground and take your hands to your butt. So the thumbs are on the top of your bum and your forefingers wrap around the sides of your hips. Heavy your thumbs so your tailbone roots down and start to go up, 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 up with the spine first, and then start to peel away from the wall. Take your hands to your ribs and lift your ribs up. Take your hands to your chest and lift your chest up. Lean further back, and if you want to grab your heels, absolutely go for it. Feet press, knees forward, pubis forward. Lift the front of you up and back. And then come on up. Sit your butt down and take some big breaths. Keep facing the wall, but just bring your bum to one side. Place your feet on the floor out in front of you. And almost like the opposite of what we've been doing all class, tuck your toes on the wall and have your feet on the floor. And then lie down onto your back. And lift your bum up. Grab the sides of your mat again and tuck your shoulders underneath you. Maybe you notice you have a little bit more space. Pull the mat apart. Lift your thighs, lift your butt, and lift your middle back. And you can stay in bridge, or you can take your hands next to your face with your fingertips flipped towards your shoulders. And come up onto your head. Bring your elbows in slightly. Bring your chest away from the wall. And straighten your arms. Push your toes into the wall. Bring your legs a little closer to one another. Bring your tailbone to the wall and your chest away from it. And then bend your elbows, look up, lie down, and rest. You could knock your knees in just by letting your heels go off to the sides. Let's do one more with the option of doing a little something funky with the wall. So bring your heels back onto the floor if you separated them. Bring your feet back to a neutral position. Toes are up the wall. Lift your bum up. Grab the sides of your mat and tuck your shoulders underneath you. And as you drive your feet down, spin your inner thighs down. Lift your butt up. Lift your mid back. Again, you can stay just like this, or place your hands next to your face. Fingertips flip to your shoulders. Come up onto your head. Elbows closer together, chest moves away from the wall, and then you press your arms to straight. And you can stay there, or you can walk your feet up the wall. Walk your feet all the way up the wall until your legs can go straight. Press your index knuckles into the floor, wrap your outer shoulders in the same direction that you're facing, and move your heart away from the wall. And then walk your feet down a little bit. Walk your feet down all the way to the floor. Tuck your toes on the wall and look up and come down. And then just scoot your butt a little bit closer to the wall. Bring your feet up the wall. Move your butt to the right and bring your knees to the left. And your feet probably came off the wall to do that. Plug them back into the wall. So the outside of your left foot is on the floor. Both your feet are plugged. I like to walk my shoulders a bit to the left on this side. Maybe the right shoulder gets a little heavier that way. And if you feel like your knees are uncomfortable and knocked and kind of dragging the hip along for the ride, you can take your left arm in between your legs, like you had a block there. Or maybe you do have a block. And place it in between your legs. Let's do the other side. Walk your feet back up the wall. Shift your hips back to center. Shift your hips to the left. And then walk your feet down the wall, all the way down to the floor. Land your legs together. So the outer right foot is right up against the floor. And then if it helps to shift your shoulders to the right, like it does for me, go for it. If it helps to fit your right arm in between the gap of your knees, go for it. And then we're going to stay on our side. So just roll all the way over onto your right side. You could also just come into Shavasana if you wanted to. But as an option, get your bum to go all the way up against the wall. Get your two butt cheeks right up against the wall, and then flip your legs all the way up. You can have a little bend to your knees. You can tuck your shoulders underneath you. If you opted for Shavasana, just before you actually lay down and relax, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. So you finish in something neutral, something without any sides to it. And after a sequence that had quite a bit of standing postures, quite a bit of leg work, allow all that energy and all the blood to pull from your legs into your viscera, into your organs. Without the heart having to work, the blood moves in its opposite trajectory. So So the heart immediately slows down. It gives you a calming sensation, feeling that you start to relax. So you can stay here for as long as you want, longer the better. You could stay here for a little bit, roll over to your side, come into Shavasana. I love Shavasana with the feet plugged into the wall, but up to you. Your turn to just rest and relax in your own time. And thanks for showing up and thanks for practicing. Namaste.